Please make sure you're on page 6, and today we're going to work on applying the mean. So we're going to use your knowledge of calculating the mean to answer the following questions. So let's recall what we learned yesterday about finding the mean. So yesterday we added numbers. We found the sum or total of all of the numbers, and then we divided that by the number of items we added up. And that's what gave us the mean. So now let's read through the problem. Trevor mows the lawns in the neighborhood. The mean of his earnings from 3 houses is $98. What is the new mean if he earns $22 from a 4th house? So first, let's circle important information. So the mean, it looks like we're given the mean of his earnings from 3 houses. So that's the number of items, is $98. So the mean is $98. What is the new mean? Oh, we're going to find a new mean if he earns $22 from a 4th house. So we're now going to have 4 items or 4 houses instead of 3. So let's revisit what we learned yesterday. Yesterday, we added all the numbers to find the sum or total. Then we counted the number of items and we divided by the number of items, and we found the mean. So today, they're giving us the mean. However, we do not know the sum. So let's start by writing just the word sum. We don't know the sum or the total. We know that we're going to divide that by the number of items, and we do know that that was for 3 houses that he mowed the lawns, and then the mean itself they've given us as $98. So in math, oftentimes, if we don't know a number, we often use a variable. So I'm going to use this word sum, and I'm just going to use an S for sum. And I'm going to divide that by 3, but this time I'm going to use our high school way of dividing, and we know that that equals 98. In our last chapter, we learned to solve one-step equations that involve division. So we have S divided by 3. So in order to find out what S, the sum, is, we're going to multiply by 3. We're going to do the opposite of dividing by 3. We're going to multiply by 3. So 3 divided by 3 is 1, which leaves the S, or sum, and 98 times 3 is 294. And since S stood for the sum, we now know that the sum is 294. So now we do know the original sum. So let's revisit the question. We're asked, what is the new mean? So we're going to have a new mean if he earned $22. So we're going to have a new sum or total, so we're adding something. And finally, the number of items will also change because he's adding a 4th house. So let's write this down. We're going to come up with a new sum. So we're going to take our old sum of 294, and we're going to add 22. So our new sum is going to be 316. Then we're going to divide that by our new number of items. And we'd find that the old number of items started out being 3 houses, and now he's going to add another house. So that equals 4. So we're going to divide this time by 4, and that's going to equal our new mean. And so if we take 316 divided by 4, we're going to get 79. So the new mean, or average, is 79. So let's pause for a minute and make sure we have this all written down. So let's read through the second problem. The mean of a set of data of 18 numbers is 32. If two more numbers, 34 and 30, are added to the set, what is the new mean? So this problem's very similar, but they're going to add two numbers to our number of items instead of one. So once again, let's start by circling important information. So the mean they're going to be giving us of a set of 18 numbers. So they're telling us that the number of items is 18 and the mean itself is 32. So if two more numbers are added, so we're adding 34 and 30, what is the new mean? So this problem is similar, but once again, we're going to be adding two numbers instead of one. So our knowledge of mean is that we take the sum and we divide it by the number of items we've added. And they told us that they added up, had 18 numbers. And after they took that sum and divided it, the average, or the mean, was 32. So that's what we know so far. So once again in math, if we don't know something, we often use a variable. So I'm going to use S for sum. I'm going to divide it by 18, and that's going to give us 32. We're just writing this a different way. So we can solve this now by using our algebra skills. S divided by 18, I see it. So the opposite of dividing by 18 would be to multiply by 18. So I'm going to multiply by 18 on both sides. On the left side, that eliminates 18, and we have S equals 576. So now we know what the sum was when we started. And that's important because we need it now to find our new sum, which we're going to divide by our new number of data items. And that's going to give us our new mean. So we're going to use our not our old sum, but the original sum, which was 576. And we're going to add 34. And we're going to add 30. So if we add these items, our new sum is 640. And then we're going to divide that by our new number of items. So we started with 18 items, and then we added 34 and 30. So we started with 18 items, and we added two more numbers, 34 and 30. So now we have a new number of items. So we have 20 items, or 20 numbers rather, that were added together. So our new sum of 640 divided by our new total of numbers that were added is going to give us our new mean. So 640 divided by 20 is 32. And as it turns out, the original mean and the new mean are the same. So please pause the video and make sure that you have everything written down for problem number 2. Because application problems are often lengthy and require many skills in many steps. Today's lesson will just include the next problem, number 3, and we will complete page 7 on our next lesson. So using what we did for example number 2, problem number 2, please try number 3 on your own. It's very similar, and you can use what you see and what you did in problem number 2 as an example to help you work through problem number 3. So we'll pause the video at this time, and then we'll replay it so that you can check your answer. So please take a moment to look over your answer and compare it, and hopefully you were able to complete this successfully. Thank you, and we'll see you next lesson to complete page 7.